once we've won, I know that first half was shocking. I sat in my chair in the live stream. I was physically laughing.
Yeah.
Because I got so angry that we couldn't pass the ball 5 yards for any period of time. I just couldn't believe it. And I just started laughing, right? And I was just thinking, I know what's going to happen here. We're going to come out. They're going to score the set. We know where this goes. But once we've won, Crookie, is that the bit where, you know, the guys that are being really calm, Ryan and co, they do have a point of like, look, just accept that's where we are. We're going to see games like at Brighton, against Brighton, where we won quite well. We're going to see games like Liverpool, where we managed to dig in, games like Palace. But then we're going to see Everton at home. We're going to see Brentford away. We're going to see City away. But we're going to go on decent runs. But as long as we're where we are for our objective this season, which is to get into Europe and then go fourth, we're okay.
I don't think you can give the players a free pass for putting in the effort they did at Anfield and have historically done in that type of games, and then not match it when you're playing 10 men at home against Everton and you're away against a Palace side who were playing away from home in Europe 3 days previously. Yeah. So it's about putting a shift in, and they didn't do that in the first half, and I'm going to get hammered for it. But I will continue to call that out because it's not acceptable.
So that's a player perspective, but then the Amorim perspective I'm talking about then, Ange. So Crookie's sort of saying, absolutely call out the players on bad performances, poor attitude, no intensity. But then what happens from that, where Crookie's basically saying the biggest problem from the last couple of games was actually the players' mentality, the players' commitment. But then some people are still saying, this is why Amorim's not, this is why he's got to go, this is why that. Is that where we also need to stop?
Yeah, I think so, because we always go back to it whenever we do talk about Ruben Amorim. Let's say you get rid of him tomorrow. It is, and I understand that people might argue, well, if a manager's not right, then you get rid and, you know, you rinse and repeat and do what you've got to do. But also the idea of having to get back on that merry-go-round of managers, and also, who are you bringing in? If someone can give me a name of somebody, then fair enough. So just from that perspective, I think I don't even want to waste my time kind of getting into it of he's got to go and this and that.
And he's moving further away from that point a bit as well.
Yeah.
Because there's a bit more calm there.
Yeah, and I just think I get why people are frustrated. I get this system frustrates people because it frustrates me. I wouldn't mind seeing things switch up a little bit, but I have to just trust and believe that there is method, maybe to a little bit of his madness here, and I always go back to what he said. If I kind of give in to on my principles, the mentality of some of these players, I'm back to square one. And it's almost like this kind of strict teacher that is implementing these rules for them to follow. My only issue with it is that when we do run into brick walls with it, he isn't always adapting. We saw it, against Crystal Palace. He did adapt, and he did identify that Crystal Palace were tired, and he's figured out ways to exploit that. And I think we saw in the second half, Xerxes doing really well, almost drifted into that left-hand side, and that left-hand channel was working really, really nicely. So we did see things change, but just for me, sometimes it just feels like a lot of wasted energy going in on Ruben Amorim, because I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah. And also, if long term we have to go through this storm that we're all talking about, and at the end of it, this guy actually comes good, then it's going to be worth it. But I do get why people get frustrated.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some more individuals, Ryan. I do want to get to Mason Mount very shortly because he did get the winning goal. He's completed his first 90 minutes for Man United, so that's big. But Lisandro Martinez came off the bench for a short period after pretty much a year out, right?
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take a few. Pretty much a year out. How important is it to have someone like him back with his style of play for what Ruben Amorim wants versus actually Luke Shaw's been pretty durable as well, pretty good.
Well, this is where we go back to having a squad of players, and we're going to drip feed Martinez back into this squad. But to answer your question, it's hugely important because we talked about how, he wants his ball-playing centre-backs to hit the ball over the top into the channels, etc. We know Martinez has that in his locker. He's one hell of a player. And we love him, don't we? He's one of those players that, we really wanted to get behind. And he clearly wants to fight for the badge, and he's got the passion there as well. We just have to manage his minutes. You've talked about Mason Mount there as well and the injury. The only thing that can let Martinez down now is his own body, So, and I think Ruben Amorim has to help him and drip feed him back into the squad. But that's a huge, huge plus. And I always say this about players that have been out for extended periods of time. It feels like a new signing in a way, doesn't it?
Does,
Because
yeah.
we've coped so long.
There.
Yeah, we've coped so long without him, and then bang, you've got this potential amazing bit of quality we can pop back into the squad that fits this system, this amazing system that we're talking about that we all want to come good eventually. So huge positive. I was watching with a smile on my face, I have to say. So good for him.
Crookie, Mason Mount. A big moment for him. If anybody knows about, strong mentality and having to stick at it and showing commitment when Ryan just said there about, your body failing you. How big is it for him, and how big was that a moment for him to score a winner, play his first 90 minutes and take that confidence forward? AFCON coming up as well.
Massive.
So
massive, because again, when you're talking about lack of effort and lack of endeavour, I don't think that is what you can accuse Mason Mount of. I think you can see what it means to him to be a Manchester United player, to be in that iconic number 7 jersey. And I think he knows, as you've said, his body has let him down since he got there and he's not been able to perform to the best of his capability. But I've got to say, whenever he has played, particularly under Ruben Amorim, I think he puts a shift in. I think he's a very intelligent footballer. He can play in a variety of positions. And I think at times United look a better team with him in it. I know Thomas Tuchel is still a big fan. And I don't think it's totally beyond the realms of fantasy that if he was to stay fully fit.
I mean,
for the rest of the
Tuchel called
season.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Come on. I mean, Mason Mount's got a chance.
Has he got a chance?
Yeah,
I think he
I wouldn't
has.
rule it out because we know
With
that
all them
Tuchel
10s
is
we got,
loyal to those
we
Chelsea
don't even know what we're doing with Bellingham.
Like
How are we
Crookie
gonna
just said, he is loyal to those Chelsea
that's
players,
true.
man.
Not Emmanuel
Loftus-Cheek, Reece James,
Yeah.
fair enough on Reece James.
Trevor
but
Chalobah.
Yeah.
Managers love him as well, don't they?
They do. He's a good pro.
Whenever someone manages him, I don't know whether it's the effort he puts into training, and obviously there's the on-field ability as well. But they always
He's a
favour
good egg.
Mason
He's a
Mount.
charismatic guy.
Yeah.
He is a good egg. No, I agree, Crookie. I think in terms of how good it is for him to be playing and how well it was for him to get that moment, I'm really pleased for him, and he's been through it. He has been through it. Big price tag, number 7 on his back. We have not seen anywhere near the return we would have liked to have seen for the outlay we paid
He
for
shouldn't
him.
have got that number 7.
Shouldn't have got that. That heaped
number.
loads of pressure on him, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it's
I just
been
think as well, like, not to be horrible, but I do think you have to reserve that for
the real.
and I think when we signed him, it was a little bit of a like. Now he fits the system, but we're like, why have we signed him?
Yeah,
Like, and
it
at
didn't
times I
feel
did
right.
forget that we'd signed him. I'll be completely honest, and it's no shade on him, but the number 7 thing, I just think, like you say, it's a lot for him, and I don't know if he's. I hope one day he is a number, somebody who lives up to that shape. But it's a big shirt to fill.
Yeah, it's a big task. Another positive: 10 set-piece goals.
Yeah, same
I'm
as
here
Arsenal,
for
isn't
it.
it?
Same as Arsenal.
Yeah.
We didn't slag Arsenal off last season, did we?
I didn't. I
Did we
didn't call
slag
him
them off for
boring.
the
So
set
Crookie
pieces?
probably would have at some point. I don't know.
We're all for set pieces here. This is
What a turnaround.
This program
Carlos
approves
Fernandes,
set
wow.
pieces.
Yeah, I mean, we're scoring goals. And you know why we shouldn't moan as well? I remember when we bought Harry Maguire, and we couldn't score from set pieces for love nor money. We never used to score. We got Maguire now. What's the point? He never gets on the end of anything. We don't score. But now, you see on the set pieces, if you notice on the touchline, Ruben sort of sinks back into the chair. Carlos Fernandes comes to the front. This is my time. Everybody stand back.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Arsenal.
Yeah.
There's this new thing around set pieces where the set piece coaches, they're like, this is their thing. This is their time. They're like, everybody step back. I've worked on this.
It's a bit of theatre in the dugout now, isn't it? Yeah, it is quite a performance. But it's to be fair, it's just another asset in the locker. Like, why not have that up your sleeve? And we've got obviously players that can get their head to the box in the box. But I don't know if you want to talk about Mount's free kick and the interview afterwards when he talked about Bruno and how late.
we didn't even know it was
how
coming.
late
Even
did
know.
you? Yeah, I know.
Because
But
you see him, he kicks it and he goes, oh,
Yeah.
It was like a get rid of it, wasn't it?
yeah, it was unbelievable.
What an
like-
assist by Bruno.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just
It's like
rolling.
that Foden pass to Eze.
But to have the presence of Manchester go now, that's kind of how it is. It wasn't the prettiest thing, but at the end of the day, it's won us the game. And I'm not here for this. I'm sure I'm going to shock you, but I'm not here for trash talking set pieces because it's definitely something that we can benefit having up our sleeve. And Bruno, I'm just touching on Bruno there as well.
Overtaken skulls.
Overtaken skulls.
I reckon depending how long he stays, if we've got Bruno Fernandes for another couple of seasons, he's taking over Beckham. Beckham's on 80.
Yeah.
He's on 56. I reckon he could.
It'll be
He's
one of
got it in
those-
his locker to overtake that if he stays for a few more seasons.
Absolutely. It'll be one of those players that we look back at, Bruno Fernandes, and we'll say he didn't deserve that era. He really didn't deserve that era because I think I don't know what the equivalent to the Barclaysman is, but post-Barclaysman. He'll be viewed as a post-Barclaysman 100% because he's special and he's still not playing in his position and he's still racking up assists like that. And he's going to have flaws to his games in that position, but still an absolute creative machine, Bruno. Fair play to him.
He is Crookie. I saw Rio's podcast the other day and he said that Bruno Fernandes is irreplaceable. Ryan's just spoke about what he brings. He isn't playing in his favoured position now. He's playing in central midfield, which there's other times where it clearly hurts us, I think. Is Bruno Fernandes irreplaceable?
I think he was coming into this season. There was a lot of talk about whether we should cash in and sell into Saudi Arabia. I thought that would have been a brainless decision on the back of finishing 16th last season to take out head and shoulders the best technical player, the player capable of providing the most assists, creating the most chances, and arguably at times the biggest goal threat. Will that be the same scenario come next summer? I don't know, because we've signed Cunha and because Mbeumo is there and you've mentioned Mason Mount, if he can stay fit, there's a lot of players who can do the same role that Bruno Fernandes does. And it's the constant debate, are we getting the best out of Bruno Fernandes in that deep line midfield role? Clearly, it's not where he wants to play. So would you cash in next summer on Bruno in order to get an Adam Wharton or an Elliot Anderson or a Carlos Baleba, not that he's having a great season at Brighton? I think in terms of the makeup of the squad, I think that discussion will have to be had. But listen, that's not denigrating his achievements. He's been the best player of the post-Fergie era, the best signing. We've said that numerous times on this show. But there will come a time when a painful decision has to be made, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's next summer.